Good evening, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your fourth and final video blog of the night for Monday, November 24th, 2014, around 8:05 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's dark out now, going to be not as cold. Tomorrow's going to be close to 60, and then Wednesday we'll watch out for that major early winter season snowstorm, which some places could get close to a foot. It's early season snowstorm, and sometimes when there's an early season snowstorm, people are saying we're going to have a mega bad winter, but that might not be the case. 3 years ago, there was a snowstorm around Halloween, and we hardly got any snow during the winter months, so it could go either way. And one more tidbit for my fourth and final video blog of the night. More and more good feedback on these video blogs on Facebook and YouTube. People are liking these, and I love doing them. I'll be continuing to pop these out, maybe 3 to 4 a day until the end of time. And one little tidbit before I get my subject. Tomorrow there'll be a video blog early in the morning, maybe around 3:30 or 4 in the morning, because I'm going to work early from 8 to 4. So early morning video blog tomorrow. Be a treat for me to speak early in the morning. Okay? My fourth and final video blog of the night will be about former Boston Bruins goaltender Gerry Cheevers, also known as Cheesy. Gerry was one of the best Bruins goaltenders of all time. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and he was a big money goaltender back in the 70s and stuff like that. Gerry was born and he grew up in St. Catharines, Ontario. And he started to play goaltender in junior hockey in 1956 for the St. Michael's team of the OHL, and he played for them for a few years. And then his rights was owned by the Toronto Maple Leafs for many years as well, but he did not play for the Maple Leafs consistently. He had a cup of coffee for them playing in 2 games in 1962, because the Maple Leafs had a number 1 goaltender, Johnny Bower, so he was not going to overtake Johnny Bower. He spent a lot of time in the minor leagues with the Leafs, the AHL, and the EPHL. During his time with the Leafs, he bounced around, but he set a record of winning the most games in a season in the AHL level, 48 in the 1964-65 season, while playing for the Rochester Americans, which was then the top affiliate of the Toronto Maple Leafs. In 1965, the Boston Bruins drafted Gerry Cheevers in the intra-league draft of the NHL, because during that time players would be drafted by different teams if they were no longer needed by their original teams. And the Maple Leafs had Johnny Bower and Terry Shawchuk as the goaltenders, and he had no room for Gerry Cheevers, so the Bruins scooped them up. And from the next 2 seasons, 1965 through 1967, Gerry was bouncing around between the Bruins and the minor league teams. The top minor league team, which was the Oklahoma City Blazers of the CHL. And finally, in 1967, Gerry Cheevers became the Boston Bruins' number 1 goaltender, overtaking Eddie Johnson. He was the Boston Bruins' number 1 goaltender for 6 years. He led the Bruins to 2 Stanley Cups in 1970 and 1972, and he had Cheevers had a style that was like a third defenseman, and he preferred the flopping style of a goaltender. And also Gerry Cheevers had one of the most signature masks, which was a face mask, and he would design stitches on them every time he would get hit in the puck. He would draw a stitch and stuff with the mask, because early in his career he went maskless. Back then, goaltenders didn't wear masks except a very few, and that was his signature mask. In 1972, Gerry left the Boston Bruins to jump to the WHA's Cleveland Crusade team. He played 3.5 seasons with the Crusaders. He won the best first team WHA a couple of years, and WHA second team goaltender a few years as well. But a contract dispute with the Cleveland Crusaders meant he left the team and returned to the Boston Bruins in 1976. He shared number one goaltender duties with Gilles Gilbert from 1976 to 1980, and they were like an awesome goaltending team. And they split the games 40-40 or so. And Gerry Cheevers retired from the NHL in 1980 with a career record of 230 wins, 102 losses, 74 ties, 26 shutouts, and a 2.85 goals against average. And Gerry then he stayed with the Bruins, and he was in 1980. He was named coach of the Boston Bruins. He coached the Bruins for 4.5 years. He led the Bruins to 2 Adams Division titles, a run to the Wales Conference Finals in 1983. The Bruins had the best record in the NHL in 1983, but they faced off against the New York Islanders, and it was in the middle of the last Islanders run of 4 straight Stanley Cups, and a lot of experts says the Bruins could have knocked out the Islanders that year, but they didn't. And who knows? They could have won the cup that year, the Bruins, if they knocked out the Islanders. Many experts were saying they had the best team in the National Hockey League. And Gerry Cheevers was relieved from his duties in 1985. And he had a career record for the Bruins: 204 wins, 126 losses, 46 ties. He was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1985. He was like not a first ballot, but a third ballot Hall of Famer. He's like one of the only NHL goaltenders in the Hockey Hall of Fame who never won a Vezina Trophy, was never named to a first or second NHL All-Star team, postseason team. And then Gerry stayed around hockey. He became the color analyst for Whalers games on Sports Channel New England for about 10 years. Then he went back to the Boston Bruins as a scout for about 12 years. And during that time, from 1999 to 2002, he was a color man on Bruins telecast on WSBK TV 38. The final 3 years they had Bruins hockey and stuff. And Gerry Cheevers' hobbies are like watching thoroughbred race, horse racing and stuff. He's appeared on Charlie Moore many times. He wrote 2 books about hockey, one in 1971, one in 2012, which is sold at the Boston Bruins Pro Shop and stuff. Many fans want Gerry Cheevers, number 30, retired from the Boston Bruins, but that might be impossible because a lot of people think, modern Bruins fans think of number 30 as Tim Thomas as the goaltender. And Tim Thomas won 2 like Vezina trophies, and people would think they were retiring number 30 for Thomas instead of Cheevers, but Cheevers should get number 30 retired sooner or later. Hope he gets his number 30 retired before he's living and stuff. He's still living, but because it would be a shame if his number's retired if he passes away, after he passes away and stuff like that, and that's not good. It's a tough call, but I wouldn't be surprised if number 30's retired by Cheevers soon. And that's about it on that. I'll be back early tomorrow morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, with 3 more video blogs. It will be about the top 10 players in Montreal Expos history, who I think is going to be my ballot. If I had a ballot for the 2015 Hall of Fame, the 10 players I would vote for, which is the maximum. I'll tell you about that tomorrow. And the third and final video blog of the night will be about legendary Boston Celtics player Bob Cousy. Good night, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. See you tomorrow morning.